Welcome to Tungsten Tales, ladies and gentlemen. We're at Nottingham here at Unicorn. Happy to say we're joined by Jamie Caven. Jamie, if you don't mind me mentioning, in fact, you've qualified on a pretty tricky day with 250 players for the Grand Slam of darts. That's nice work. Takes some doing.
Yeah, it sure does. Over the moon to qualify. It's something I've wanted to do for the past 7 years. It's something that I've not been able to do until now, and it's one of the first things on my list of achievements for the year that I want to achieve, and I've done that, so I'm over the moon. Yeah,
because best of 7 legs. I mean, a couple of dodgy throws, and all of a sudden you're out, aren't you? I mean, it makes it so tough.
Yeah, I mean, away from the normal routine on the Pro Tour, the normal format we do is the best of 11. So the best of 7 is a bit less forgiving. So if you get behind early on, you've got to really dig in to sort of turn it around. So it's tough, but eventually I've made it, so I'm chuffed to bits.
Yeah, so you qualified for Wolverhampton. Of course, the great thing is your TV. It's 3 times. It's a group stage, so it's all that extra experience and being on the TV, really.
Yeah, of course, and the fact that it's the best of 9 each match, so it's a nice quick game. So I'm looking forward to having a crack at it because it's a short format, which it may suit me. Yeah. And I'm just looking forward to getting cracking in with it.
Yeah. I mean, because when we look at the major events, perhaps the World Championship in the match play and whatever, you've qualified for these events time and time again, but perhaps you haven't done yourself justice. I mean, when we look at a play of your ability and what you've achieved, perhaps on the Pro Tour, 7 wins on the tour, and you've had some cracking wins in the actual European events as well.
I mean, this year, if we look at this year, I guess. Last 32 when I lost to Barney. Yeah. But I mean, it was a hell of a game. It was there for either of us to win. But when you look at the results, I guess 4-3 I lost. The match player Drew Gary Anderson lost 10-8. Yeah. Peter Wright in the Grand Prix, that was only 2-1. Yeah. So when you look at the actual scorelines, it's not like I've had a thumping really.
No, absolutely.
I think my game, on the big stage is getting better, and due to the fact that the European Tour events are now on a big stage with a full arena and cameras and stuff, and I've had a decent year on the European Tour, so I think that helps with my progression.
Yeah, very much so, because some of the players you beat Phil, you beat Mr. Bunton a couple of times, you're beating the if you like the Premier League players, should we say? So that you've got the game, that's for sure.
Yeah, certainly. Even I beat Michael in Dusseldorf this year as well. So it's certainly something that I'm learning to develop within my game. It's taken me longer than I really wanted it to, but I'm over the moon that I can sort of produce it, and things are looking up, and with the fantastic equipment that we've got. Obviously Unicorn are amazing, best provider of darts equipment in the world. So, and obviously I've got a newish set now with the scallop at the back. I'm really happy with them. Yeah. And it's all good. It's all positive going forward. I'm looking for good things now.
Yeah, it gives you confidence going into those big games. I mean, I think last year in the European Championship, some wonderful victories there. I think a battering of Dave Chisnall and then James Wade. Coming stuck a little bit against Mr. Whitlock after being so far in front, but that's just a learning curve, isn't it? Really?
I guess so. I mean, when you look at that game, I was 4-1 up at the first break and 8-2 up in the second break. I was 9-3 up, only needing 1 leg, but I only had 1 match start. He played amazing. Yeah, I've got, there's no sort of solution or no reason for games to change. We saw recently James come back from, was he 9-2 down, won 11-10 against Merv. So sometimes these things happen, and there's no reason or explanation for it. It just don't seem to happen at times. But you have to sort of, if you dwell on things like that, you're not going to progress very well. So you have to brush them off and dust yourself down and carry on.
That's it. So world's number 19 now, just a couple of wins away from the top 16. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I think that's me overall goal. I want to look at doing that probably by the end of the year, if possible. I want to really sort of roll my sleeves up now. We've only got a few events left this year, but it's certainly possible, and that's something that I'd really like to achieve.
Yeah, that's it. Because the Players' Championship after the Grand Slam, and of course then on to the Worlds. That's right. It was such big money at stake in that World Championship. Yeah, a couple of wins, then all of a sudden, hey, you're not just in the top 16. You're maybe in with a Premier League place. That's the dream, isn't it?
Who knows? Who knows? I think that's a dream for every player. If you was offered the chance, if you got a wild card or you were in the top 4 to get in by right, I think nobody would really refuse it. To be honest, it must be a very hectic schedule, but every professional dart player wants to be in that Premier League, I'm sure.
Yeah, and if you don't mind mentioning the nickname, Jamie Jabba Caven.
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously, we know the name. Give us a little bit of background.
Yeah, sure. I'm diabetic, obviously, as most people know. From the age of 20, I had my pancreas removed. And when I played in local leagues in Leicester, a lot of my pals just come up with the nickname Jabba because it was just something that lightened the mood in a tense match or whatever.
Yeah.
But I remember one time specifically, someone just shouted, "Come on, Jabba!" I think I was like 4-1 down in a final and 1-5-4, and it stuck from there.
Yeah.
So, and I always said that if I ever did any good within the sport, I'll keep the nickname as long as they allow me to keep it. So.
Yeah. And unfortunately, you lost the sight of one of your eyes a few years ago. Can you quickly mention about?
Yeah, I was only a toddler. It was a bee sting or something similar, so it's not like I've had to adjust.
No.
So it's not nothing that I really look at as I've had to adjust from having sight in both eyes and then just the one. So it's not really. A lot of people big it up, and rightly so, I guess. But I try not to take too much credit for it because it's not like I've had to adjust, like I say. But that's just one of them things, wrong place at the wrong time, I think.
Yeah, that's it. And of course, the Jamie Caven Darts Academy, where that's going from strength to strength. Just a couple of words about the youngsters there and what's happening.
Yeah, we started in February this year. I think we're boasting 40 plus players, and we've got they're all getting together really well. The parents are getting on and having a social life and obviously they hadn't met before the academy came along, and it's good. The kids all get on. There's no problems. They're all getting better. Some are getting better than others quicker, but that happens in whatever you do. But it gives them something to do, and they all look forward to it, and it's brilliant. It's absolutely fab.
So maybe a world champion from a Jamie Caven Dart.
You never know,
dream, wouldn't it?
You never know. Well, I'll be the manager if that's the case.
Yeah, that's it. And if you don't mind mentioning finally, maybe away from darts, hobbies. What are you into?
I don't like to do nothing too strenuous because I focus on my job a lot. It's a hobby that I had before I was a professional, and it's something that I've always ever wanted to do, and that's continued. But away from darts, I read a bit and play a bit of snooker and things like that, but nothing too strenuous.
That's great. Well, thank you very much for your time there, Jamie, and best of luck for the rest of the year.
Cheers, Paul. Thanks.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Paul Starr, and that's, of course, Jamie Caven in association with Unicorn. That was Tungsten Tales, keeping you at the sharp end of world darts. Thanks for joining us.